Safe Space is a company that is dedicated to addressing mental health in Tanzania, in Africa, but also advocate for gender equality. So apart from like our work internally, especially now with our new normal post-COVID, obviously all of our operations are mostly online. So we do online therapy, we do online trainings. We ourselves operate online through different platforms, but also, social media presence, the way we spread information, the way we interact with other players in the ecosystem, other stakeholders is really mostly online. So I facilitated one of the workshops that was online, and it was about building resilience and mental health online for youth, because I think this is such an important subject. We rarely ever talk about it. Our whole lives are online, and there are so many things that go on online apart from the obvious, that is cyberbullying and no privacy with information. There's also addictions that come from being online, and there's so many ways that being online affects our brain. And I think that it's really important that we now start to talk about these things, especially for young people who are moving forward, are going to spend a majority of their time online. I feel like I have a responsibility when it comes to youth. I am still youth myself. I'm still in that bracket, but there is a lot that I have done, or maybe what's a better way to say this? There's a lot that I know as a psychologist that affects youth like me and some who are younger, and again, there's not a lot of spaces that talk about things very openly, and so every time there is a platform to speak to youth, I feel a certain responsibility to be able to meet them at a certain space where they do identify with me, but also apart from me being me as a psychologist, I think there's valuable information when it comes to our mental health, when it comes to mindset development, and youth are the perfect target for that. So especially in Tanzania, in Africa specifically, I think I am so fascinated with the way that the digital infrastructure has surpassed all other infrastructure, right? Like, okay, maybe we don't have the best roads, we don't have the best hospitals, or we're struggling in education, yet we have these platforms that get all the way to really remote regions, and we can reach each other in much easier ways. We can send funds to each other, like we can communicate, we can share information, and there's so many opportunities that come from that when it comes to development, and we see it through different initiatives, and even the work that we do. I feel like mental health is not that one of those things that are especially in the African context, that is so natural or an easy thing for people to understand. But through digital platforms, we've been able to have friendly conversations. I think when it comes to opportunities with the digital economy, like I said before, it really is about this bridging a gap of some sort, again with the lack of infrastructure in other areas. But for example, I do virtual therapy. 4 years ago, not even 10, not 20 years ago, there wasn't a platform for this, right? And even physically it was an issue. So to have imagined that 4 years later, I would be talking to people all over the country and doing therapy online, right? And healing people in different ways, and it's the fact that it's become so intuitive, and the fact that it's like, okay, maybe we don't have books in schools, but hey, there is this platform, Shule Direct, that without internet you can access books. Okay, we don't have kids struggle with learning math and English, and then you have platforms like Ubongo, right, who reach kids all far out into the village. I feel like there's nothing more incredible than that, to be honest. Though there are challenges, like any good thing. It is a double-edged, well, not a double-edged sword, because one side is good, but there is a sharp edge on one side, and that's that there is addictions online. There is bullying, because now there is this barrier and people are covered, and so there's a darker side of humanity that shows itself, because you don't know who I am. I can hide, and we all have that dark side. It's just that it's easier to come out now, and I think it's more detrimental in youth than anyone else because they're at that identity formation stage and they're more susceptible to mental health challenges. This is where a lot of mental health problems do crop up, are in adolescence and early adulthood. So if, cyberbullying to a 30-year-old may not have the same effect as cyberbullying to an 18-year-old. And I think that that's something society at large needs to understand. And addictions as well, right? Like at 30, at 40, at 50, maybe you're addicted to alcohol, you're addicted to, drugs, whatever it is that, society already understands as addictions. Parents are not so quick to understand that their 15-year-old is addicted to video games or social media, or their 20-year-old is addicted to social media, and that comparison that comes with it, the being unable to remove yourself online, it has a lot of detrimental effects on the brain, on self-confidence, on esteem, on identity, and I think these are tough issues to tackle because there's a huge gap in generations because technology kind of came in between. So there are challenges, but there's people like Safe Space and we're trying to address them.